Happy Thursday, my gritty Vikings. It is time to learn again. Let's see, let's go through some announcements first, and then we'll get right to the packet on day 3. First of all, thank you for those of you who've been asking questions. Still don't have any votes. Guess nobody wants to see the real Forky and tomorrow video. So sad, so sad. Thank you to the 12 of you who turned in your packets last week. Miss Clark dropped them off for me today. So I've got them. I will have a list compiled and give a big shout out for you guys. Probably some kind of drawing or something, some kind of raffle that we can do. I'll figure out a prize and we can go from there. Other things. Make sure you're getting that second packet. It's 3 weeks worth of work. It is a lot. It is a big, thick thing. Get to school, pick it up with the lunches. You can pick it up and out the door. And those of you who didn't finish your first packet, how am I going to give you grades? Do you really want zeros? Do you think you earned a 0? Let's get them turned in. All right, so with that said, lunches. Keep going for lunches. I'm going to be working on Tuesdays on lunches. Packet, and keep reading. Remember, you can take AR tests at home. So let's go ahead and get started on day 3 of the packets. All right, we're going to start today with source 4. The first part, of course, is to read and do math and all the rest, but we're going to go through the packet starting with source 4. Understanding tropical deforestation. Deforestation means the cutting down of trees. Tropical means in a tropical zone. Stretching around the earth is a wide belt of forest of amazing diversity and productivity. Tropical forests include dense rainforests where rainfall is abundant year-round. They also include seasonally moist forests where rainfall is abundant but seasonal, and drier, more open woodlands. Tropical forests of all varieties are disappearing rapidly. Humans clear the natural landscape to make room for farms and pastures, to harvest timber, and to build roads and houses. Although deforestation meets some human needs, it also causes major problems, including social conflict, extinction of plants and animals, and climate change. These challenges aren't just local, they're global, meaning this affects the whole world. Even if we chop down trees in Brazil, it affects us here in Bakersfield. Causes of deforestation. People have been deforesting the earth for thousands of years, primarily to clear land for crops or livestock. Although tropical forests are located mostly in poorer countries, the wants and needs of the global population affect tropical forests as well. Forests are cleared to harvest wood and to use the land for farms, roads, and buildings. The biggest direct cause of tropical deforestation is turning the land into cropland and pasture. Countries build roads to improve transportation of goods. The road development itself causes some deforestation. The new roads also provide entry to a land that could not be accessed before. Logging often comes after the new roads. In some cases, it's the reason the roads were built. When loggers have harvested all of the wood in the area, they move on. The roads in the logged areas attract settlers. The settlers destroy the remaining forests for croplands or cattle pasture. Small-scale farming activities once dominated agricultural-driven deforestation of the tropics. Now, however, large-scale commercial activities play a bigger role. In the Amazon, for example, industrial-scale cattle ranching and soybean production are the leading cause of deforestation. So what this paragraph is basically saying is, it used to be just small groups of people tearing down a small area. Well, now we have like corporations coming in and buying and clearing hundreds of thousands of acres instead of like 100 acres. So the scale of everything is on a bigger scale. Poverty drives people to migrate to the edges of the forest where they clear the forest to farm. Tropical deforestation has many causes, though, and there's more to it than just poverty. Government policies to encourage economic growth, like road projects, have caused significant unintentional deforestation. Global economic factors can also encourage deforestation. These include things like foreign debt or expanding global markets for rainforest timber and pulpwood, basically making paper. When more people want to buy these goods, people in tropical countries have a good reason to keep extracting them, even if it means destroying the forest. The availability of technologies that allow industrial scale farming can spur rapid forest clearing. Meanwhile, inefficient technology in the logging industry increases damage to the surrounding forest. Although tropical forests cover only about 7% of the Earth's dry land, they probably hold about half of all the species on Earth. Many species can only be found in small areas. This makes them more likely to die out. In addition, the forest that remains is more dangerous for the plants and animals still there. Rainforest products are popular around the world. These include latex, cork, fruit, nuts, timber, fibers, spices, natural oils, and resins, and medicines. Some of these products can be taken out of the forest in ways that do not cause harm to the environment. If the forests are destroyed, people will no longer be able to get those products. But there's another important reason why biodiversity matters. Plants and animals in the rainforest may hold the cures for diseases and ways to improve the food we produce. Many of these plants and animals have not even been discovered yet. All right, so let's take a look at the questions that go with all this. Jose is writing a report about human impact on the environment. He would like to include a paragraph with general facts about deforestation. What is the best source for Jose to use? Source 1, 2, 3, or no sources? Well, source 1 talked about the coral seas. Source 2 talked about polar bears. And source 3 talked about fires. D says basically none of these are the answer. Well, which one did we just read about that talked about deforestation? Well, that was source 4. So you need to stop and think, what are they asking you here? 2, read the following passages from the text. People have been deforesting the earth for thousands of years, primarily to clear land for crops or livestock. Although tropical forests are located mostly in poorer countries, the wants and needs of the global population affect tropical forests as well. Forests are cleared to harvest wood and use the land for farms, roads, and buildings. The biggest direct cause of tropical deforestation is turning the land into cropland and pasture. Countries build roads to improve transportation of goods. The road development itself causes some deforestation. The new roads also provide entry to land that could not be accessed before. Logging often comes in after the new roads. In some cases, it's the reason the roads were built. When loggers have harvested all the wood in an area, they move on. The roads in the logged areas attract settlers. The settlers destroy the remaining forest for the cropland or cattle pasture. Highlight or underline the sentence that best supports the main cause. So, what in here is the main cause of deforestation? 3. 3. Read the following excerpt. With all the life in the tropical forest, it's surprising to learn that tropical soils are actually very thin. These soils do not have a lot of minerals, which means they're not ideal for growing crops. The soil comes from rock, and the heat and rain in the tropics washes away the minerals over time. Nearly all the vitamins and minerals of the tropical forest are in the living plants and the decomposing litter on the forest floor. When an area is completely deforested by farming, the farmer usually burns what's left. The minerals in the soil are lost. In just a few years, soils often become unable to support crops. If the area is then turned into cattle pasture, it becomes impossible for the forest to be restored. Based on the information in the selection, what are ways that the soil in tropical forests are not ideal for farming? 1, they don't have a lot of minerals. B, the soil comes from rocks. C, when an area is completely deforested farming, the farmer typically burns what's left. D, if the area is then turned into cattle pasture, it becomes nearly impossible. E, nearly all the vitamins are in the living forest floor. So, what ways, what are the ways the soil in the tropical forest are not ideal for farming? To find three of these answers, that goes back to here. And your key word here is farming. All right, essential question. What are ways that human behavior affects the environment? So, let's take a look. Using more than one source. Okay, we've done that. Develop a claim on how to explain how a shortage of resources affect the overall structure of the economy and society. Once you have this, select the most relevant information from your sources to support your claim. All right, so All right, so the cost of the dinner is $27.50. We need to figure out what 10%, basically we need the cost of the dinner plus 10% plus 15% is going to give us $27.50. I'm going to leave it at that and let you guys figure it out. I just took a random stab at a price close to this and came up with it. So I think you can do the same. But if not, we'll come back to it. But that's how you've got to think about it, is the price plus is going to give you the $27.50. All right. Use tables and data charts, independent practice worksheets. There are 18 paintings in each hall and 5 paintings in the corridor. The table shows how the number of paintings P depends on the number of halls R. Okay, so 4 to 77, 5 to 95, 6 to 100, 13 to 7. How would you write this as an equation? Paintings equals 18 times halls minus 5. Paintings equals 5 minus 18 times R. I can tell you that's not going to work because that's going to give you a negative number. Paintings is 18 times R plus 5 or 4 plus that. Basically, remember R is halls and P is paintings. You've got to work them out like this one. 18 times 4 minus 5. Is that going to give me 77? If it is, can I do this one and get 95? What about this one? Well, this says 18 times 4 plus 5. Well, if that gives me 77, can I go back and check this to see if it gets 95? This says 4 plus 18 times 4. And if this gives you 77, then try it with 5 and try it, etc., etc. Basically, if you get 1 or 2, you should be fine. This table shows how the number of erasers E depends on the number of pencils P. Same idea. Remember, P is pencils, E is erasers. Is the amount of erasers pencils plus 1? Is the amount of erasers 12 times pencils minus 1? Is erasers pencils minus 1, or is erasers pencils plus 12? See what you get. Challenges. The following prism is made up of 27 identical cubes. What is the greatest possible surface area of the prism can have after removing one or more from the outside? Wow, we haven't gotten a surface area yet this year, so you know what? Let's go to that. Oh, order of operations time. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Order of operations. With a little bit of distributive property put in. So, distributive property tells me I need to break that out. Then remember, I need to make a balance. Remember, algebra is a balance. I want my x's on one side, I want my coefficients on one side, I want my constants on the other. So you're going to have to subtract or add to move things around. That's how you're going to attack that beast. And then I think that leaves you to tomorrow. All right, so that is day 3. It's a bit much, but give it a whirl. Let's see what you get. For now,